Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kind of Funny's MCU in Review. Welcome back. It feels like it's been a while, and that's because it has. We did Black Panther, then we had a week off of the show. Now we're doing Thor, The Dark World.
I hated it, and I have to tell someone. I wasted my time. I could have been playing video games. Fuck The Dark World. Number 9.
He's right.
Subscribe.
You can get this show on youtube.com/kindoffunny every Tuesday at 9 a.m. or you can get it on podcast services around the globe, including now Spotify. If you search for Kind of Funny Reviews.
We did it.
The podcast is now on Spotify. That's a pretty big deal.
It's us and Taylor Swift.
So if you can go subscribe over there, we'd really appreciate it.
Held that longer.
Let's get right into it, guys.
Thor: The Dark
Thor:
World.
The Dark World. Released on November 8th, 2013. Iron Man 3 coming out that same year, May 3rd, 2013. We're getting to the point where when that came up in the credits and I saw it, I was like, that's not that long ago. There's been so many movies, but that's because they start coming out faster and faster.
Yeah.
No end in sight.
You start shitting out them, you know what I'm saying?
Directed by Alan Taylor. Known for a lot more than I expected him to be. Movie-wise, it's not looking too good. I'm going to tell you that right now. We got Palookaville,
No idea.
My favorite.
Thor: Dark World, and Terminator Genesis.
Hell yeah, dude.
Let's
classic.
Gave us that one beautiful night in Las Vegas together.
But his TV directorial filmography or TVography, I don't know, whatever it is, fantastic.
His resume.
Lost, West Wing.
Wait, what
Wait,
season?
what
of
seasons?
Lost?
Yeah.
A whole bunch of different things. Like a whole bunch of different episodes across a bunch of
Did you
different
do Pablo
seasons.
Lies? I like that one a lot.
Never seen it.
Really? Oh, you
Was
fucked
that the
up.
one where they spent 15 episodes trying to get into the hatch?
No, this is the one where they just they put these two people on the island and pretended they had been there the whole time. Told the story about them. They went back and like re-edited shots, and they were in the back like, it's fucked up, right?
I loved that so much.
Lost, The West Wing, 6 Feet Under, Sex and the City, The Sopranos,
Sex and
Game
the
of
City.
Thrones, Boardwalk Empire,
Oh.
Deadwood, and Mad Men.
He's like a good college coach that you don't want him in the
You
pros.
bring
Give him
him
in college. Give him in
I
college.
don't blame
Nick
him for this
Saban.
film.
So that was the thing. Even with Game of Thrones, like he directed some of the better episodes, including like the final arc of season 1. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean-
and it sounds like that's why he was hired to do this, because I was doing some reading. Thor: Dark World went through a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Some Justice League style problems, where as they were going, they were like, oh, we don't like this script. We're fixing the script. And
Really?
it kept going. And originally, Patty Jenkins was supposed to be the director of this. And then due to some fuckery that ended up not happening, they're like, well, Game of Thrones is a hit. There's some fantasy stuff going on. Maybe this will work. It didn't.
What, was it just script issues?
There was a lot. I mean, there's a lot of script. I'm going to jump to some little Easter eggs here. This comes from a.
Christopher Eccleston died. They have to bring him back to
I don't
life.
even
This
know
comes
that
from
is.
Hollywood Reporter, and
the elf.
it kind of goes
The
through
main
a lot of
guy.
the things of why we don't see Natalie Portman anymore in the
Oh,
movies
cool.
as well. So Hollywood Reporter writes, the success of Marvel Studios has allowed it to operate by its own rules, so perhaps it's not surprising that its top executives neither knew nor cared that dropping Patty Jenkins as director of its Thor sequel would shock Hollywood. But perhaps the studio didn't count on shocking Natalie Portman, who is said to be deeply upset by the decision. While the parties spun the parting as an amicable split over creative differences, sources say Jenkins was fired without warning from a job that would have made her the first woman to direct a superhero tentpole. The news was out before anyone had told Portman, who had strongly urged Marvel to hire the director of 2003's Monster, a film that won Charlize Theron her Oscar. According to sources, Portman had begun to question whether she wanted to continue acting at all right now, possibly for several years, because she wants to spend time with her baby boy, who was born in June. Portman was said to be re-engaged in Thor 2 because of Jenkins' involvement, and especially proud that she would have played a role in opening the door for a woman to direct such a film. The Oscar winner is contractually obligated to stay with the project, and Marvel's now said to be working overtime to smooth over the situation by including her in discussions about whom to hire as a replacement. Meanwhile, insiders are telling widely divergent stories about why Marvel dropped Jenkins. A source with first-hand knowledge of the production says Marvel became concerned that Jenkins was not moving decisively enough and feared the film might miss its November 2013 release date. Exactly how Jenkins should have acted more decisively is unclear since no script was in place. But an insider in Jenkins' camp says the lack of clarity might be on Marvel's part. This person says Jenkins was so explicit about her vision for the film that she didn't expect to be hired in the first place. The source speculates that Marvel executives might have been won over initially by Portman's enthusiasm for Jenkins, but then, quote, when they started to interview writers for the rewrite, may have decided they really weren't comfortable. So, there you go. That was written around the time that this movie, like right before the movie came out. And then Portman was not part of the MCU 10-year photo that happened recently. probably showing Marvel's interest in her and
Well, this
where she's
wrote her
going.
out, right? I mean, that was the thing.
Yeah.
In Age of Ultron, we get one quick throwaway line
Quick
about
throwaway
her.
thing, like a picture of her. I think.
Yeah,
you
I think
see?
there's
Yeah.
a picture, of her and then Gwyneth Paltrow, right?
And then Ragnarok's the one that like writes her off.
yeah. Like, yeah, sorry she dumped you.
Yeah. And then, but as recently as February 18th, 2018, just happened. Natalie Portman says, "I'm completely open to everything, but I have no news about that," in talking about coming back to the MCU. So yeah, a lot of issues with the making of this movie, it sounds, and you can definitely see it watching this film.
Well, I applaud her for sticking to her guns and like wanting Patty Jenkins, but no director could have helped this movie. I don't think no one. It wasn't a
be done.
directorial problem. It was like it was just
Story
it's
problem.
just bland, man.
Boring.
What an solely forgettable film.
Oh my god!
Watching it again, it was nice to watch it because I hadn't seen it in theaters, and since it's so forgettable, it was like I don't remember anything. And like,
Same here.
Renee Russo gets stabbed or whatever, and Jen's like, "Well, she comes back." I'm like, "Yeah, she's in Ragnarok, right?" And then they burn her body. I'm like, "Wasn't she?" I don't even fucking know.
I know.
Like again, all
Yeah.
I don't
That's
even.
the problem with the Asgard people is they're not. You never really quite remember who comes back and who they're related to and who we're supposed
no, I mean,
to
I
give a
feel
shit
like
about.
Is she in Ragnarok? I'm
here's
like,
Gimli.
No, you're
Sure,
crazy.
yeah.
And her death was relatively important. That's Thor's mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, her death is the whole
Fraggle.
reason
Frigga.
why.
Oh, Frigga.
What's his
Frigga.
face is like, I'm ready to die. Odin.
Frugal.
He's like,
Yeah,
I'm done.
I'm
over.
done. I don't care about
Which
this
I think
shit.
in Ragnarok's a pretty poignant, like, oh.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Getting through all the bullshit in the beginning. The budget of 170 million, which compared to Avengers 2 movies before, 220 million. Box office of 644 million, which is up from Thor 1, which had 443. So continuing Marvel's kind of domination that we see going upwards. What do you got for me, Greg?
Just,
Yeah.
I got bile. And this thing, it's not a bad movie.
It's not a
just,
bad
it's
movie.
not like I looked.
It's
when
just not good.
Last night I went to check on something on IMDb and I saw, or it was I rented it off Amazon and it said, like 2014 or whatever, and then it said a 7 out of 10, and I'm like high, but I would have gone to the 6s. It's an okay. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's
When
in the 5s. I'm using IGN scale. Man,
I rented it off
sorry,
of
the Orientation scale.
I rented it off of Xbox Video Service or whatever, and it
Sure.
said Metascore 55 out of 100.
Yeah.
I was like, that's about right.
Yeah, that sounds
Seems
more
about right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, then not that we need to put numbers on it, but yeah, I'm somewhere between 5.5 and 6 on it. It's weird because I think the biggest problem with it is when I look at it compared to ranking the other guys. This is the most forgettable of the movies. Having said that, it still has elements that I like better than some of the other movies on the list that we're looking at. Like Loki is awesome, and I think that's some of the best Loki scenes we've seen thus far in the MCU. Him reacting to Frigga's death is so awesome.
That's the best scene in the whole movie.
Totally. And the whole end scene too of him with Odin or like pretending to be Odin and Odin doing the Loki pose and the thing, and you're like, oh, that's fucking Loki. This is like the double crossing going on. Like you think Loki betrays Thor and doesn't. Like all that stuff is awesome. Why wasn't the rest of the movie that awesome? It was so forgettable. Worst villain in the fucking franchise.
The worst
Jesus.
villain in the franchise.
And
is problem.
the thing that I hated about it was Christopher Eccleston, who is one of the doctors from Doctor Who, but he also starred in HBO's The
right.
Leftovers, and he plays a preacher named Matt. And I just could not unsee this preacher Matt, who's kind of like this bumbling dude who like sticks to his guns about his religion. And it's just like I could not unsee the character from The Leftovers, and I hated it, man. Oh God, I hated it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. Where I feel like I watched this movie, and yet again, I was reminded how fun Marvel movies are. Like I enjoyed this movie, not from a compared to when we compare to the rest of them, we'll see where it sits. But I actually was like surprised how much fun I was having watching this movie. But then I accidentally watched it a week ago, and I came in today and I asked Tim, I was like, "Who's gonna do the plot?" Because I hope it's not me, because I can't fucking remember a thing that happened. I don't know why the elves want to turn the whole universe to
They
darkness.
like the dark. They're like box
But
turtles.
why wouldn't? But they're clearly existing in this universe that already has light. So like they have to do the whole. That's kind of dumb.
They exist
And
in
then
the dark universe, so that's what they want again.
So that's what they want again. But like, and then they want to use the MacGuffin. What is it called? The ether.
ether.
Ether, yeah.
Spelled Aether.
I had to rewind the ether and be like, oh, I missed this line. Let me just verify what I heard about what the ether is. And then I rewind and the line is just, the ether is a dark matter that encompasses all. I was like, all right, some generic bullshit.
But so
Like,
we get that.
Jen
with,
was
like,
5 minutes removed from the explanation. She's like, "Why are they doing this?" I'm like, "Because they're bad guys.
Because
They're bad guys. They're gonna
that's
fight the good
thing.
guys."
And that's really the
They're
problem,
Cobra.
right? Is when you get a movie like Black Panther that we had last week, right? We have a villain that is has interesting, very, very interesting, very compelling motivations. Where if we all talked about it, if you were to tell that story from Michael B. Jordan's perspective, he would be the hero of his own journey. We'd all buy that. We'd be like, if you changed a couple elements where the Wakandans were bad people and we set them up as bad
he didn't
people,
choke the old
we
lady.
would be 100% on his. Well, she was being mean to him, man.
No, she wasn't.
She was clearly being mean. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you tweaked a couple of things, it's believable that someone killed his dad. And he wants vengeance, and he wants to take these people out that he sees as bad people. Right? In Dark Elf, it's we just want to kill the whole universe. Like the Dark Elves just want to kill the whole universe. There's no other plan they could I don't know.
Well,
It's just
dude,
very
this
fucking
movie
weird.
starts off on the wrong foot, and it's like it's going to be a bad movie whenever they do this, which is just we're going to give you heavy exposition.
Backstory, yeah.
And there's just going to be a bunch of
You
CG
didn't like seeing
shit,
Boar run
CG
around?
shit happening, and they kind of explain what's going to transpire in this movie, and then you're just like, oh fuck. And then the moment it cuts to the other shit, I was like, all right, I'm into this. The scene, the first action scene with Thor, where he comes and like beats the fucking rock guy. I loved that.
That's fun.
Great.
Very, very well choreographed. Everything about that I thought was awesome. I thought a lot of the action in this movie was really good. Better than Thor 1.
Oh yeah,
All the
and
action
so
scenes he was in.
and that's
pretty
my
cool.
thing. Is like I don't want to skip ahead of the rankings, but like I think this is a much better movie across the board than Thor 1. I think it's better directed. I think the characters know themselves way more. I think there's just a lot more going on than Thor 1. As far as like I thought the action set pieces were way better, and I think I enjoyed it upon second viewing way more than Thor 1.
This is yet
Interesting.
another Marvel movie that rewatching it, I'm like, way better than I gave it credit for the first time. Still not good.
No, yeah,
Still not
no
good.
good.
But it's when I first watched it, I thought it was like a 3. Like I was like, this is a bad
I remember
movie.
hating it in theaters.
not a
being
bad
like, this is
movie.
not good.
It's
It's a
just
boring ass movie.
boring.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
The initial intro scene that you were mentioning with all the exposition, I was waiting for like Steppenwolf to pop up. That's what it felt like. I was just like, oh god, this is like CGI wars and shit, and I just didn't
we
care.
had that like giant dark elf too, so we got our little
I just
Steppenwolf
didn't
too.
care.
Where it was
Like,
like,
I-
oh look, they can
And he
crush
looks
this thing
so-
and become like Hulks.
The most generic like bad guy design.
Yeah.
The guy who fucking like crushes the
Oh,
crystals. like
the
the
Elder
mask
Scrolls
looked cool.
helmet
this
come to
looks
life.
so fucking
But the mask did look
generic.
cool. I thought
so
that, like-
uninspired.
I'm an
man.
orc now. Anger. I will let Loki out. Anger.
That's the thing. Is like that's the thing. And going back to an earlier comment you made, Tim, where like I think this did have moments for me that I was like, this is really cool, right? Like all the stuff with the jailbreak, I was like, that's fucked up. Where the guy just like fucking kills everyone in the cell and like smashes the dude through it,
Yeah,
and you're
that's
like,
cool.
this is getting intense, right? I liked all that stuff. Some of the like looking back on some of the action set pieces, especially Thor flying around with the hammer, did not look good.
It didn't
There
look
were moments
good,
where he
no.
catches the hammer, you're like, whoa, what's up, zany Spider-Man 1 climbing up the side of the
Totally.
building? What's going on with that? Is it 2002 again? So that took me out of it a little bit.
Also, I love that they were like in a time kind of pre-Star Wars movies coming out. It's like we're gonna try to do a Star Wars movie for a while with the spaceships flying around
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and like a lot of fucking spinny spins through the random things. I'm like, why did you fly your ships in the most complicated way through Asgard? It looks cool.
It does look cool.
but it's like it's just Flash for the sake of Flash.
But I like
fun Flash.
I like some of the stuff. Like then that's the thing. Like you see those set pieces and you see those action moments. You're like, there's some weird stuff happening, but there's also some cool stuff, right? We get Idris Elba's character where he like realizes the thing's trying to sneak past him and catches it,
was a
and
cool
like
moment.
rips it through. And you're like, oh, he stopped it, only to realize there's like 30 more ships that are about to
But
attack.
also like
Here we go.
like what are the ships made out of that he could just stab it?
Stab him. Yeah, it was like
That was
alive.
weird. It was like a
That
living thing.
interesting,
he's fucking Idris Elba, man.
Yeah,
Don't-
but the
Yeah,
thing
so
bled.
watch
if you
The
question
ship
him
bled.
again, I
Did it
will.
bleed?
It looked like it bled.
But
Like,
it's
it
Dark Elf.
actually
It's
bleed,
Dark
but-
Elf. Thor Dark Elf.
And like so he was able to stab it, right?
Yeah.
He was able to stab the ship.
cool.
But then the ship crashed into it and was still flyable after, or like how it,
Just let it be cool.
What is
The
what is
rules.
Asgard
What are the
made out of?
rules?
man?
No, that's so true.
Like
though.
did it crash through styrofoam columns?
Yeah, it's
Like,
true. I didn't think about that. It
No, when I
crashed
watched it,
into
it
so
bothered
many
me.
pillars.
So many
and
of
then
the
later
ships
it's-
blew up
yeah.
when they crashed into something. This one fucking crashes straight through the shit and just survives. Fucking bullshit.
But I
Real
did.
quick.
Sorry, go ahead.
For like the special effects, the like black hole grenades that they throw
Dope
are
as
fucking
fuck.
dope
That was
as
so
fuck.
cool.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
some
there was
straight
some really cool,
Destiny
and I
shit.
really liked the design of all the Asgardian ships because they look like old school like boats of yore. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Or like they really embrace that aesthetic and they embrace their old like lore aesthetic. I thought it was cool. And I liked a lot of the set stuff. I like the fact that I like where we find Thor. I like that he's become a real character now. He's not this like ridiculous kind of caricature of his Norse gods.
Thanks to Thor 1.
Yeah, it's great. We find him a much more somber Thor, like we find him at the beginning, where
misses
he's-
his lady.
He misses his lady, but he's also
Who he
just
had
kind of
met
cleaning
once,
up the
hung
mess
out
that
once,
he
and
helped
just
start.
disappeared for 2 years, and then now he's still hung up on his wife.
Hey man, you ever dated Natalie Portman?
I don't think he has technically at this point.
Dude, once you make out with
True,
Natalie
they didn't
Portman,
date. They just had like
And it
one
was
kiss and he
like, what the fuck? Like, you are in New York and you never stopped by to see her.
That's a little
how we're
weird.
gonna
Although,
hang
to
our
be
hat on this.
fair, we literally saw everything he did in New York in Avengers.
he had the
Saved the
Tesseract,
shit,
bro.
and had to take Loki back.
He had to take the Tesseract.
I don't
back.
blame that. Like that,
You
I was
can't
like,
just-
I buy it.
I'm
You
just
can't
telling
just
you,
put the
I just
Tesseract on
feel
a
like it's
keychain.
such a. Oh man, I'm so fucking. I don't revelry in mirth anymore because I don't celebrate my battles. But I'm on the fucking planet. Because remember, when we left last time, the bridge is destroyed.
Yeah.
We'll never be able to get back down there.
That
And
was a
then
little-
They used
here we
black
are.
magic to get to Earth that time, and then they had the Tesseract. I'm assuming with the Tesseract
No,
they were
but-
able to rebuild the.
No, he brought him back.
Like Thor.
That's what happened. That is
yeah.
they
But
explained.
they
it.
don't. Do they?
Yeah,
I didn't-
totally. The having the Tesseract allowed them to make the bridge again, which allows them to travel.
They don't explain that. You're just assuming that.
Whatever the fuck his name, Idris Elba was talking
Hyman.
about.
Hyman.
Heimdall.
Heimdall.
Yeah, Heidenreich.
He says like, "Oh, thank God we had the Tesseract. Back and running again."
I mean, they don't go into that much detail, but no, they bring up the fact that once they have when they bring Loki back and they talk about having the Tesseract back on Asgard, they're allowed to do the space travel. And then later when he's like, oh, we have to go through your secret hole, Loki. Take me through your secret hole. Fucking weird.
That is a good point, though. I didn't realize, like, at the beginning of the movie, we find him on a different planet, and they use the bridge to get back. So you would think that, like, unless that bridge just got completed that day, priority number one, on some level, would be like, let me just sneak away for a couple minutes, see my girlfriend.
I was
It
gonna
only
say,
takes
yeah,
5
not
seconds.
to like just don't do the revelry after the battle.
Yeah. Here's what you do.
Or when you
everyone
sneak
else is
back to
partying-
watch, and because it's not, they've never set up the rules of this fucking thing of it requires too much time, energy, whatever. What is she doing right now? Oh, she's fucking doing something in the air. Send me down for 10 minutes.
Fucking
I
that random
haven't
guy
talked to her in 2
who's doing
years,
the
and I'm still
cameos.
hung
Let
up
me
acting
just-
like an asshole about
let
it.
me get
Even
you
though in
some-
Avengers, not at all. Didn't
Yeah.
act at all to be interested on Earth with her.
Let me just get some Netflix and chill, bro. Let me just get a little
That's
Netflix
all you
and
need.
chill.
That's all you need. Well, so we're kind of talking about Natalie Portman. The worst thing about this movie.
Really?
Oh yeah, why would she need to be involved in this movie? Oh, she doesn't. Oh, let's put the fucking ether in her.
Yeah.
So she has to be part of this.
Yeah.
Dumbest fucking thing that we've seen in the MCU thus far. Natalie Portman having fucking weird explosive powers and having to be taken to Asgard.
That she can't control. It's just
stupid.
whenever she's scared, she like bursts
Whenever
out.
she's touched by specific things, but not other things.
Well, harm. It's whenever like she feels like something's
No,
gonna
Pepper
harm her.
Potts in Iron Man 3 is pretty stupid too.
I think this is way worse. Than
Well, no.
that.
To clarify,
I
it was
agree. I
whenever
also think
it was
it's
whenever
way worse than
anything
Pepper
the
Potts.
ether felt it was being attacked, it would lash back out because he was touching her with love. He was giving her a little love, shoulder to
Give her
shoulder.
some of that love.
Just scratch.
him
But I
a
mean,
rub.
but that's the thing.
Shit would've been
all that
really
stuff was weird.
useful
But then
when
there's some
Frigga was
really cool
dying.
shit where. Remember when the kids were like, come here, it's in here. And then there's the kid that just like rotates the truck. I was like, that's fucking dope.
That stuff was cool.
That was cool.
And then
like
it was
the throw the
overdone a
keys and all
million
these
times
things.
because the whole Kat Dennings and her intern storyline.
God, that
could've-
sucked
that
too.
was
That-
Some of the
terrible.
least believable lines ever. People don't talk that way. They just don't fucking talk that way. It did get us the Mew Mew line.
It does give us
which I
Mew Mew.
thought was funny.
That was
Yeah.
funny. I did
But a
like
lot
that.
of the other shit that they said, I was like, this isn't fucking funny. And the way that she kissed the intern,
Yeah.
and then they did the joke again.
Yep.
And I was like, it wasn't funny the
I
first
feel
time.
like 50% of the humor hit in this movie, and it was way less than I wanted. Man, just felt like such a bummer. When I compared to Thor 1, are we already ranking it? Can we get this over with?
well, that's the thing. I mean, plot wise, can you just do the fucking listeners a favor?
Jesus.
Give us the 2
Give us
minute
the 2
version
minute
of
one for this.
though.
All right, so there's these dark elves, man. Like a long time ago, fucking Odin's dad came down and he's like, stop it. And they're like, we're going to bring darkness to everybody because once every 5,000 years there is a convergence. They're like, all right, cool. The Thor people just beat the living shit out of these guys. And when Malekith sees it's all about to go wrong,
Malekith.
he's like, all right, cool, bro. I'm going to crash my ships on my own people and distract them all. We're going to fly away and put ourselves into sleep because they've taken the ether, which is this red thing that looks like carnage, and it's bad. And
Which they were just able to teleport away.
they teleported away with this
First
thing.
Infinity Stone.
Yeah. All right. Great. It's gone. It's up there now in the vault of Odin's dad at the time. Malekith goes to bed. Everything happens. Again, Thor's just being a big old. There's another uprising. Thor's bringing peace to the 9 kingdoms. He's so busy
realms.
that at no point can he fucking at any point pop down to Earth, even though it's instantaneous and doesn't require anything.
It takes like 2 minutes.
No,
2 minute live,
I mean, literally, like
maybe he couldn't get the Uber.
we're going
pool.
to. Well, it's just a matter. Anyways, he goes there. They beat this guy there. And then, you're still sad though, says one Wonder Woman, not Wonder Woman. He's like, yeah, I am still sad. Wonder Woman, not Wonder Woman. And he goes and watches Natalie. They can't find her. They can't find her this time. I don't know. Meanwhile, on Earth, she's in Britain now. They got that funny guy that I like. She's on a date with him.
The Irish.
Yeah, that guy. Kat Denny shows up. They go over to this fucking abandoned warehouse. Some dumbass kids were running in this warehouse and figured out they could fucking move gravity and throw things through wormholes. Cool. Makes sense to be playing there doing this, and they figure out they do this. There's energy signatures and bullshit.
a lot of that.
Natalie Portman, she gets ripped through the hole. She finds the old ether chilling out there. It infects her. She's got carnage inside her now. She comes back a little while. Well, then in between, oh, let me see her again. Fucking Hyman. Okay, well here, I can't find her. That's weird. I can see everything.
It was because they hid
panic
the ether.
ensues.
They didn't put it in the vault. They hid the ether in one of the realms when the convergence was happening, right? So you couldn't find it again.
Yeah. Was it in the dark realm?
It was in some realm.
Yeah.
It was the dark
It
elf.
was in caves.
The dark elf.
The dark elf.
She comes out. It's 5 hours later. Whoa, crazy! All shit. Thor comes down. He's like, whoa, like it's not raining around her. All right. They're like
Protecting her.
Ether doesn't like water.
Ether doesn't like water. That's
I
what
think it was
that's
just protecting her from like.
Oh, was that what it was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it protects her, so it like
From
created
water.
like a bubble.
No,
From
that's
water?
I thought it was
no,
Thor.
It was clearly
No, it
Thor.
was not
It was
Thor.
not Thor.
Yes,
'Cause
it
it
was.
happens
Thor
before.
stopped the rain later.
Yeah,
all the rain.
because Kat
It
Denny's
was
like,
Thor.
"Is this you?"
Is this you? And he goes, and all the water stops. It was Thor.
He does not snap and all.
He
the water
doesn't.
stuff.
He doesn't step.
He went, "Hey,
That was 100% Thor.
Why
Wait,
was
the
it around
Thor-
her though? Then
Yeah.
It wasn't.
He didn't want her to get
remember
wet."
when she walks away from Kat Denning? It goes like she's the epicenter.
Yeah.
Kat's with her. She walks away. Is he doing it?
Natalie Portman's the only thing not having it.
Yeah.
I think he just
And
wanted to
then-
protect her from the rain.
Yeah.
I
It was
don't-
a stupid comedy
can
moment.
Thor
Right,
control
that's what
the
it was.
rain like that?
And that is another thing. I'm like, that's bullshit. In this movie, he controlled the rain.
I don't know.
All right, I
Be cool if
fucking
he
hate
could.
this
You
fucking.
like-
He could probably do a lot of good if you can control
They
when
go,
and if it
they
rains.
go back up to Asgard. A funny moment, I feel, where Natalie Portman's about to get whatever scan. She asks if it's a whatever. They're like, no, it's a soul forge. She's like, does a soul forge do this, that, and the other? And the lady's like, yeah. She's like, it's what I said it was.
Yeah.
Odin shows up. He ain't about this. Shout out to Anthony Hopkins, though. He's a great guy.
Such a good
Right?
actor.
Just
And
Anthony
he's totally doubling down. Remember at Thor when we were like,
Overdone in some
we were like,
moments.
why did
Oh.
yeah, why did he pronounce it that
I
way?
thought that was awful.
And like,
You didn't like that?
I hated
love
that
that
line.
because it was so much feeling
Somewhere
in it.
in the reviews of Thor, Anthony Hopkins saw somebody call him out for that weird pronunciation. He's like, I'm gonna do it a lot in Thor
Whole
too.
time.
I'm gonna say all sorts of weird shit
My
here.
God, it almost seemed like he was like, oh, why did I commit to multiple ones of these? And then looked at his bank account and was like, right, that's why. And 0 fucks given. 90% through this, you're like, he doesn't even know where he is.
He did
They're just they're
Transformers 5,
projecting
right?
the lines.
So he doesn't really care
He's like
about
Ian
what he's
McKellen,
in,
just
yeah.
kind of walking
Meanwhile,
around.
here on Asgard, Loki's up in a dungeon. He's locked up with all the other bad guys. And Fritos, she keeps coming down and she's like, hey, I want to talk to you. And here's a fucking book. And he's like, I don't want your book. You're not my mom. That's setting stuff up you'll come to later. Wink. While Natalie Portman's up there now and everybody's like, oh, she's got to get out of here. But oh, man, she got the carnage in her and it fucking gets everybody. This is when Maleth and his boys show back up in their
Malekith.
fucking T-ships. They're like, woo-wee,
They look
we
like
smell
Y-wings.
it!
No, they're B-wings.
And they're like, we smell it as they come in.
remember that.
That's when Hyman's like, oh fuck, I didn't see it, but I can kind of see it.
that the extended
I can
edition?
see,
You
I can see,
feel it.
I
You
can
can
see
feel it.
everybody, but here comes this thing that clearly is like the sky all jaggy.
Looks
Anyways,
like a gigantic predator right next
he
to him.
jumps
He's like,
out, he
what?
stabs
Oh.
it. It's a great scene. Good job, Hyman. We're a big fan. And then, oh no, here comes a bunch of other ships. They all start fucking attacking. One of them's going straight for the throne room. Meanwhile, Mal's fucking second in command, the guy, he had gotten cut, and then they put a rock in him. And this is
Yeah,
gonna
that guy in general, very weird.
yeah,
I
he's the
hated-
right hand man.
Well, one of the most annoying parts of the movie was like the pointless, let's put the shield up around the castle and then it's going to come right back down to me. I was like, well, just why even
Why
show
even
that?
do
It was
that?
so
Yeah.
pointless, dude.
Also, they destroyed the
It,
so
like,
much
it
of
happened so
Asgard.
fast.
Yeah, not fast enough though to actually help.
Yeah, Asgard really got to get their security on lock.
Yeah,
because
no,
we just
that's
keep
what Jim
taking
was
it out of this
saying, too.
motherfucker.
Side about the enemies here, where we're like, I don't know anything about them. You know what this reminds me a lot of? This reminds me so much of Superman Returns, where like they did a whole bunch of prequel comics, and if you read those, you understood why these people who say nothing are important. Same thing here. I don't think they did that here, but whatever. Not that I'm justifying that. I'm just saying shitty
probably.
writing is shitty writing, and bad movies are bad movies. Anyways, they go in there. They're after the ether. They know it's in Natalie Portman. They know Carnage is there. Fucking dark elves are in their shitty fucking weird masks fighting everybody. They're dying. Everybody's dying. Fucking Gimli's there with his axe doing shit. Zach whoever.
Zachary Levi.
Zach Levi's out there with a little sword. It's cute. Wonder Woman, not Wonder Woman's up to shenanigans. Renee Russo now, Lethal Weapon star. What up? She's Fritos, and she's taking Natalie Portman to safety with Carnage inside her. Real cute scene of her saying goodbye to her husband and being like, oh, yeah, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have survived mid-battles. Good stuff there. I like that. Fucking Maleth, he shows up, and he's like, hey, guess what, man? Like, I know it's
like, hey,
here.
just
I
let it
want
go.
my fucking thing. It turns out
not Fritos,
Natalie Portman's
Malik, and
not
Hyman.
there. She's a fucking Loki ghost. Guess what, by the way? Fritos, she taught Loki all the ghosts. All right, cool. She got all the
I
tricks.
thought it was cool too.
makes sense.
I like
Cool.
that.
I'm not
Totally
against it,
a little
I'm not against
backstory
it.
to
I like
Loki
her.
and they
It's
were-
hereditary.
Everything she was in was one of the better
Loki.
parts of this movie.
Renee
She was
Russo?
dope fight scene.
Yeah, no, good fight
Frito's
scene.
character in general.
But she can't.
Free guy.
She can't do it. She does the same thing everybody always does. I'll tell you right now, everybody. You're in a fight, right? You got somebody by the neck with this. Just fucking stab in the goddamn throat.
Stab
Really
him.
could have ended.
You
the whole-
come this
could have ended the
far.
whole movie right there. By the way.
Instead, she turns around and guess what? The fucking Elder Scrolls, the Skyrim hat is there, and he's mad, and he fucking kills her, stabs her, whatever. I don't know. Thor sees her, and he fucking lightnings the face, mouth. Cool.
Which was fucking tight.
You know what
Really
the
tight.
you know what the Skyrim fucking mask face
Tell
reminds
me.
me of? He reminds me of like
Skyrim?
when you're watching a GameStop commercial and they put different generic
Generic?
game
Yeah,
characters.
yeah.
That's what he reminded me of. Like
100%.
the kid opens a door and it's that guy and he's like, "Oh, the GameStop toy to play" or whatever
right,
bullshit. It's so stupid, dude.
These guys, they take off, Dark Elves, because he got his face all smashed up and that stuff. So they're gone. Thor's mad. Fritos is dead. They put her in the boat, send her out there.
Viking's funeral.
Yeah, awesome. They do Viking funeral for everybody.
lot of
but
boats.
rather than going to over the waterfall, they go out into space and turn into stars and shit. That was cool. I like that too. That was nice.
into
That was
stardust.
super nice.
And
Thor's
then they breathe them all later. Like
Thor's like, Sir Anthony Hopkins,
through a line of
let
free-
me go after these motherfuckers. And Anthony Hopkins is like, you don't need to. They're gonna come back. They just want. You don't need to. They're gonna come back. We have what they want. And Thor's like, no, that's dumb. Instead, I'll just do treason of the highest order. Gets all his generic fucking friends together again. Grimly with his axe, Wonder Woman, not Wonder Woman, Zach Brannigan, and they're like, we're gonna do this.
You're
I
missing
see,
one.
and this is a big problem with
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Is that should have been really cool. This whole essentially we're planning a heist or we're planning an escape.
Yeah.
I like, and they did the whole thing where he was talking through it and you see them all doing this
Yeah.
stuff. That should have been cool, and it really wasn't.
No.
it was like some
Honest.
Ocean's 11 bullshit.
I didn't
I
like
really
it.
wanted to be some
I
Ocean's
really
11
did
bullshit.
like. I did like Idris Elba sort of
Hyman.
Heimdall, like turning
Turning
on
himself
them
in?
and being like, "Hey, I like to say there's some treason going on." They're like, "On who?" And he's like, "On me, dog."
That's
That
cool.
was so cool.
Well, I mean, I think that was part of the distractions because he had to
I
like
don't think he
have him
turned on
come
him.
out to his.
oh no, it
little
was just cool.
outpost.
Like I just like that
Yeah,
he
it
was
was
part
cool.
of it.
I
Yeah.
didn't-
They also decide they got to let Loki out. And they need Loki for his secret hole they got out of Asgard that no one's ever figured out before. All right, cool.
Well, first off, like going to Loki, obviously that scene I think is probably one of the better scenes of the movie.
Where they're
you-
walking around?
where you find out that he really is
Oh, yeah.
just
Destroyed.
destroyed.
brother.
Yes, I
Are you
love.
here to gloat? And then you're just like, nah, dude, I'm here for the real shit. And then you like, it cuts and he's just there in a fucking destroyed
Yeah,
room.
feet
I
are all
thought that
bloody.
was so
Feces
awesome.
all over the
Feet all
walls.
bloody really made me uncomfortable.
I thought it was really good.
There was feces all over the walls.
That along with the final cutscene of like going through the different wormholes.
Don't spoilers,
cutscene.
man. Don't spoilers.
I really enjoyed that, like everyone, like all his helpers, Thor's helpers were
Yeah.
all like, "Don't fuck him."
Yeah,
Or
one by
I'll
one.
get
That
you.
was good.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So they take off. There, it's Thor. It's Natalie Portman. It's Loki.
You see
it's,
Captain America too.
Oh, you see Captain America.
That was
cool.
really
That was-
good.
I really
That
enjoyed
was
that.
really
I
good.
really
And
enjoyed
shout
that.
out to Chris Evans for nailing Loki as Captain America.
Yep. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. They go. They're flying. People are chasing them and being bad guys. Then it looks like Thor pushes Loki out as he's screaming about his plane being stupid, which I liked because I forgot
Yep.
about it. Instead, and then Thor grabs another apartment. They jump out. There's a little boat down there. It was all just a diversion. Then Loki does it with his handcuffs all up, and he gets them get through the fucking secret hole. They pop out in the dark elf world or whatever.
Something about every time you say Loki's hole, I just can't. Deal
Loki's
with it.
deep
They
dark
pop
hole.
up in Baldur's Gate or whatever.
I remember this being the finale of the movie too, so it's interesting. I was like, man, we got here quick or whatever. Oh no, there's a lot more of this fucking movie left. All right, cool.
Yeah.
London, all of London.
Malik shows up and he's like, hey, bruh, I want the fucking thing. And they're like, hey, you can't have it. And they fake this whole thing where Loki turns on Thor. Thor gets his hand cut off, can't pick up Mew Mew. I was like, yeah, this is actually dope. I remember in the theater even being like, this is cool, especially when it originally turns. It's not Loki. Plan blows up in their face. They can't fucking do it. They rip Carnage out of Natalie Portman. She's all
Horrible scene.
like, yeah, you know what I mean? She's floating there. Shit's coming out. Every orifice is just coming out.
It's coming out of all of the holes, all over dark.
Malik eats it
Elf
up.
Aren't they
He's
like shards? How do they not like tear through
Nobody
their clothing?
understands.
well, it's gas at first, and then when he electrifies, it becomes shards. And then it
Okay.
just becomes something else or something. Who knows? That's all well and good. It's raining
God,
here.
it's raining.
Yeah. San Francisco is getting a little Thor, if you know what I mean. That happens.
Donut.
Great. They've got the power. Awesome. That's not good. The convergence is almost upon us. Oh my God. Where will the convergence be, though? Oh, it's going to be in London. Great. So we're off to London.
Fun
By the
Easter
way,
egg
here we go.
about the convergence. During the film's final scenes in London, the 9 realms begin to converge, and the audience gets a glimpse through a number of circular portals into several of them, one of which appears to be Muspelheim, the realm of fire. Inside the realm of fire, amidst the backdrop of solid flames, there's a distinctive shape moving around. That shape would appear to be Surtur. Surtur, the big dragon thing he fights in Ragnarok.
cool.
Oh, neat. Okay, that's actually. I thought that was gonna be dumb for a second. It wasn't. I left out all the London shit because you really don't.
Doesn't matter.
Eric Selvig's there.
Eric
acting
Selvig's-
like a fucking asshole.
He got
'cause
driven
Loki
crazy by
fucked with his
Loki.
head.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Okay, but
Hey,
he's
there's a
running around
repercussion to the
pantsless.
Avengers. This happened. Not bad. All right. Also, people smacked Loki a
First
lot.
off, I like the scene where they read it. We've seen it a couple times. We see him running around Stonehenge. You don't know why, and not kind of try to figure out what's going on. He's naked, right? And then they have the scene where you see him again, and it looks like he's teaching a class, like when they found him.
Yeah.
And, he's teaching, and then it cuts, and it's just an insane asylum.
Yeah.
And Stan Lee's
Stan Lee,
there.
that was good
The
cameo.
Stanley
That was
cameo
fun.
was good,
That was a
and
good
in the
way to do it.
background on all his scribbles and stuff, like there's a whole bunch of references to other Thor comics and stuff. I didn't write them all down because I was like, we don't fucking know what they're talking about. You probably don't either. Really nerdy shit. But one of the things on the board, it just says 616 universe.
Oh, nice.
cool.
Ah, that's
What is
actually
that?
cool.
Boudica, 6.
It's 1-9. Rey Mysterio's in there in a straight jacket. Let me go.
He had one more scene that I really liked
Let
where
him-
he's talking to all of them seriously about like what they need to do.
Oh, yeah.
And like they all like, all right, let's go. And he gets up and he's like, fuck, I need pants.
Yeah.
Just
He
always-
thought better
just
without his
with
pants on.
underwear.
Yeah,
God bless
yeah.
him.
And,
So wait,
you know,
yeah,
you
so-
said there was an intern for the intern. It was a dumb thing.
I was just saying, so he's crazy because of
Yeah.
Yeah.
but why didn't anyone
Because when you
else
have a
go?
god in your head,
Yeah, he mentioned.
But so
He-
wasn't
well,
that
keep in mind, though-
supposed to be the stone? Like that Loki used on him, was that not the Mind Gem?
Well, it.
yeah.
And they just
Yeah,
had an
but then
explanation.
why
like-
isn't Hawkeye fucked up?
Yeah, why isn't Hawkeye
I was
all
about to
the
get
other
there.
people?
I was about to
Okay.
get there. A
Why
lot
don't
of
you
them are
guys
dead. A lot of them are
fucking
dead.
let-
Sure.
The reason
Great.
Eric Selvig, a high functioning smart guy,
Sure.
Hawkeye, a Neanderthal with no motivation.
That's right.
He just
Zero
wants to go
brain.
back to his country home and fuck his wife, make more
country
kids, and
home?
chop wood. All right. If it isn't about fucking putting an arrow in a bullseye, this guy's like, I don't give a shit.
he was also a trained, you know.
He's a moron.
That's all this shit.
Guy's a fucking idiot. Nobody cares.
Okay,
He was a blank slate.
Fine.
Eric
fair.
Selvig had thoughts. All guys like Putty and Seinfeld just stares at a wall waiting for a mission.
This is all fair. This is all fair news. All fair news.
Moron.
It is. I will say that it's very fortuitous that all the things they had to do was in London, and they just happened to be in London. So that was pretty great.
Well, that's what drew them, right?
I guess so,
That's where it all
yeah.
starts.
Yeah.
In
I
the
guess that
original
makes sense.
readings, then she put it aside because she's just so love struck that she can't focus on her work at all.
Again, the
See,
final
first off-
cutscene, really
Natalie
cool.
Portman, I'm a successful doctor in this movie, but I'm so in love with
Wait, side note, stop.
Go for it.
Let's just stop for a second because I'm announcing a brand new podcast within a podcast called Rank Those Abs. And I'm going to tell you this right fucking now.
Yeah.
Bro. Chris Hemsworth in this movie, Jesus.
It's a new level
I had
that we've
to.
seen.
I had to
Jesus. Are you
pause
looking to
it.
see
I
if I
had
get
to
the-
pause it, and
I
I
forgot
said,
about Ragu Bagu. I'm getting it. I'm
Yeah.
ready.
I
Rank
had
Those
to pause
Abs.
it, and I was like, Paula, you know the V
The
cut
thrust
that people
bucket.
get?
He has it on his
the
back. Dude, he has the coveted double V.
He's got the double V. He's number one on the list, by the way, for both Thor and Thor Ragnarok. I think he looks
got
better in
double
this
V.
than in the first one, but I'd have to go back and closely examine both. I'll rank those later. You guys can find those.
So
on my
we're
Twitter.
in London. Guess what? The convergence is happening. Portals are showing up. Fucking F1 bombers are going in and coming out. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's dumb, but it's kind of
And
cool.
then the birds go in and come out
Birds
right
come-
where they're standing.
And they don't go. They go past everybody. Like, you know, I was like,
that didn't
what?
make any sense.
Nobody got
Yeah.
fucked up.
Wouldn't you fall through the portal too? Like, is the portal only work? It's a whatever.
one
The
way
missiles
door?
are having trouble targeting.
yeah,
it's pretty
it's
cool.
all it's Haywire City
When
down
are you
there. You know what I
shooting the
mean?
And Thor's hammer, Mew Mew.
That's cool.
Flying all the fuck
That's
around,
awesome.
going through space,
Really
trying
cool.
to find him.
That was really cool.
Very
That was
cool.
really fun.
Very cool. But I feel didn't have the punchline.
Well,
there was
that
a
was-
lot of like cool setup, and then nothing really cool happened
Well,
with
with
that.
the like teleporting, the punchline, which is I think the best joke that they had in the whole movie is where he like gets teleported in the train station.
Oh, that was
And he's
great.
like, oh, which way? And they're like,
How do I
"Let's-
get to Greenwich?
It's
And,
like,
like,
2
3
stops
stops,
that way.
yeah.
And, yeah, I thought it was
That
hilarious.
was funny. That was funny. And that's the thing about this is I feel it's them honing in on what a Thor movie should be, trying to figure that out, right? And you see moments like that where I'm like, oof, this is laying the groundwork for
understanding.
why we love Ragnarok as much as we love Ragnarok. Spoilers for when we get to Ragnarok. But like, you know what I mean? Of like, fuck, you're not there, but this is your awkward teen year where you're like, you know what I mean? Like you're trying to become a man here, Thor movies, you know what I mean? Getting hair all over the place, raging boners. You don't know where to stick them in Loki's secret hole is back on.
Find those secret holes. Jesus,
We got carnage coming out of orifices.
Anyways, you set up some fucking sticks. You're gonna use that. That don't work. You go stab him. Funny thing, I think in the library when Natalie's like, y'all gotta get out of here, and the one guy's like, hey bloke, don't you know it's Thor over there with his
And he's
hammer?
swinging his hammer around.
Are you mental? I was like, all right, that's cool. That's fine. Mouth is there. And he's doing his thing, man. He's a big old fucking tornado of red shit happening.
Is he? But that's the problem. It's like he goes against Thor, and you're like, okay, this stuff has the power to change the entire known universe to a dark world, like universe. That's cool. And then he attacks Thor with it, and it's just like a little spindle of thing that hits him, and he just gets knocked back in like the world's like most badly done slow mo effect. And you're like, what is this shit? And can it really like let him just do it? Because I don't think he can do. I don't think he does what this guy thinks it does. So like that was my biggest problem is like when everything was so generic in this that
like
when you get to the
pocket
end, there's
sand.
just no payoff. You're like, who cares? This is dumb. He's like,
So yeah, they lop off his
don't touch me with that.
limbs, and they're using Eric Selvig or whatever. Selvig, he's got a goddamn radio tuner thing. You ever play Oxenfree? That's what he's got, and he's fucking using it to send limbs out into space and put them in. All right, whatever. Thor beats the shit out of this guy with the hammer, I think, and then they put him in a hole, and then more shits. But then the Thor's knocked out, and Natalie Portman's trying to drag his body. No one comes to help him.
No.
Thor's risked his life for all you fuckers a million
Twice.
times. God forbid you all come over and drag his fucking corpse out of there. Natalie Portman, she lays on him though. Solveig whoop sends the stupid spaceship back into space where armless dude is there trying to grow his arms back. I think I don't know. It crushes him.
I don't know what else do.
Can the ether save him from that as it was growing arms? Who the fuck knows? What can any of this shit do? You know what I mean? Apparently Thor can control the rain, so who the fuck knows? Who knows? And so he's crushed. Yay, it's a happy ending or whatever. I left out the fact that like
Loki
Loki wasn't
died.
dead. He wasn't
Yeah.
dead. It seemed like he was dead at first. Then we had a little cutaway where he did the green scary not the confusion stuff where he changes into somebody. Like, oh, and then he went back and reported to Odin that hey, Loki's dead to see what Odin was gonna say. Cut away. We come back.
Wow, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, we
You
cut.
remember that?
I just remember
That
like
was
as
a
one of the
moment. That was
gods.
tiny, yeah.
I just remember the very end moment.
Yeah, we
Oh,
come back and then Thor and Anthony Hopkins there. Odin, they have a good scene where like basically Anthony's like, I can't say I can't say if you want to go back and be with this woman that I approve. But if you were my son, now or if I was,
I have one son who doesn't want to be king and one who wants to be king too much. or
Yeah, something like that. It's really good.
Yeah.
All of Anthony Hopkins' lines really good. All of Thor's stuff done on terrible CG.
Oh, yeah,
and
that
I'm
was
watching
weird.
this and I'm like,
Very bad.
is this all like now that I'm fucking Justice League has my sensors on high alert? I was like, was this all reshoots?
Must
Did the
have been.
movie
There was a
not
lot.
end
There
this
was
way?
there was a lot of reshoot issues, including at some point in the final post credit scene for Thor: Dark World. Natalie Portman's just like, I ain't coming back. I ain't coming back for anything. So Chris Hemsworth's wife, Elsa Pataki, had to stand in as Foster for the last kiss. Of the
Oh,
film.
nice. Nice.
Should have just not included that scene, maybe.
Yeah,
You know,
stupid
pointless.
ass scene.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Super pointless.
Weird.
So
Yeah.
pointless.
I did forget to mention that there were some scenes when they went back to Dark Elf Land or whatever, and it's him and Loki, and Thor. His voice sounds like he's trying to go way deeper than normal. Did anybody notice that? God, go back.
No.
Please
No.
go back.
I'll just take your word
I'm
for
There were
it.
just some scenes where he was like, Loki, and it's like, why is he going that deep? He's never gone that
Go
deep.
that deep,
That's
man.
how he showed his grief over his mother.
Oh, yeah, it was when they had that little brief argument.
Yeah,
And
I
then
do
they
know you're
kinda-
talking about that.
yeah.
I did notice that he
Very
was in a
bizarre.
weird register.
Very bizarre.
I did really like Loki at the end as Odin. That whole Odin's speech, which I guess was Loki, whatever.
Yeah.
I liked that, and I also liked Loki's final dying words to Thor.
Yeah.
About like, it was you. You know, it's not.
I
I'm
didn't
not trying
do
to make
this
my
for
father
him or
proud. I'm
something,
trying to
yeah.
make you proud. And it's like, I just love the Loki character so much because there's so much of it where it's like, whose side is he on? He's double crossing everybody, but like he's so good, and Tom Hiddleston does such a good job where it's like you still believe that there's truth coming through in a lot of things that he's saying. Like he means what he's saying. He's fucking everybody over, but he does love things and love people.
So is Loki like invulnerable to being stabbed in the chest?
No idea.
You know?
He might have just been another
Some weird
deception.
hologram shit.
I think he just made it
I mean,
up. Yeah,
the elf monster stabbed him in the chest.
Yeah, but how do we know there was even that elf monster there the entire time?
And he
True.
was,
That's a
the
good
main-
point.
he was one of
That's
the
a
biggest-
good point.
Yeah.
That scene was also really cool when he stabs Loki in the chest, like holding
Or
Loki
maybe it was
up,
a fake dagger.
and then he throws him down, and then Loki activated his grenade, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Ha!"
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, that was cool.
Good moment.
That shit, that effect was so brutal.
So
It was
cool.
like,
And I feel like we've
crunches you
seen
in
It
that.
looked fucking
Where have we
painful.
seen that since
in
then?
Guardians, they do something similar. It doesn't bring them to a singularity.
snaps
It
them
just
into each
pulls
other.
them together.
There's some movies that like I feel in recent times have done that really well, but like this I think was the first
That
one
looked
that I've
really
seen.
cool
It
and
looked very
super
cool.
violent and painful.
Yeah.
I feel like the highs in Thor: The Dark World, and there was only like one. I'd say like the final fight scene I think is better than anything
The
in Thor.
final fight scene?
like
Just
him
to get a little
fighting
clarity
Malekith?
right here. Malekith and him?
the fucking
Oh, shooting through the-
teleportation
oh,
shit.
okay,
Like
okay.
I thought that was creative and cool, and I thought it was fun, and I enjoyed it more than anything in Thor 1. But I think Thor 1 overall is just like consistently above average, where this movie had way too many really bad lows.
Yeah.
You're skipping ahead. Head into the plot real quick. The last thing is the end credits.
Oh, sure.
So,
Well, we've
like,
talked about it a bit. But
I enjoyed the end of the final scene of seeing Loki. I was like, it was probably compared to most of the Marvel movies, I think one of the stronger endings where Loki on the throne is like, oh shit. Like that was like probably the first time in this movie where I'm like, I can't wait to see what happens next. And then that's right when the movie ends. So
And that was
sucks.
that was the. I guess it was. This is 2013.
Mm-hmm.
I thought. Okay. Yeah. So when that happened and the movie ended, I turned to it. I'm like, what a forgettable movie. You know what I mean? That had like no consequences really for the overall MCU. She's like, no, what are you talking about? Like, and she's like, oh, the Loki. And I'm like, yeah, such a amazing plot point. They waited 4 years
then get
forever
back
to
to.
do anything, and when they did, it was just boom. You're not father. Ah, fuck. Really? That was, and like, don't get me wrong, that's all awesome, but like, what does any of this fucking matter?
Yeah. But then the post-credit scene is the Collector. We see him for the first
Yeah.
time, and we see that the ether has been taken by Sif?
Yes.
Sif?
No,
Sif.
not Wonder
Sif.
Woman.
Lady
Yeah, not Wonder
Yeah.
Woman comes and gives him the ether to like keep it separate from
Grimly's
the
with him
Tesseract so
too.
that if a big bad guy would ever come and try to collect all these Infinity Stones for some reason, they're not all in the same spot. And I liked it, and the Benicio del Toro's there, and he's all, what's he like, Andy?
It's like 1 down, 5 to go.
Yeah.
I know we're
that,
jumping ahead
just like that.
a bit to Guardians though. So he's already unloaded that stone by then. I mean, is he just an agent of Thanos? Is that his deal?
Last we saw, he still has it.
Yeah. Well,
Really?
no,
It was in the background?
We don't. No, we didn't see in the background.
I forgot that this was an
Last we
Infinity
say, last
Stone.
we know, he still has
yeah,
it. We
last
don't
we
that it
know,
goes
he
anywhere
still
else.
has it because he hasn't given it to anyone, and I think he's just on his own trying to collect them.
He is.
I don't think he's collecting them
Okay,
for
cool.
Thanos.
I just didn't know because I know that it's a big deal in Guardians when he gets one, right? And then they actually talk about.
Yeah,
what it
you
is.
would think that though in Guardians they were like, hey, while you're there, why don't you go ahead and take the other one that he's got in the back too?
Well, they didn't
Well,
know, right?
yeah.
Nobody knows. I understand.
No,
I
Nobody's been
expected.
talking to them.
I was expecting him to have some kind of nod if he still had it. I don't know. I was wondering, but that happens. Yes.
Yes.
So which stone
kiss
is this?
too.
This is
This is the Ether Stone.
Reality Stone.
Reality Stone.
Oh yeah. 'cause
Is it
we're-
the reality stuff?
That's the Reality Stone, yeah.
And then
I like the one
Tesseract
throwaway
is
line
what?
where they're like,
Space.
Spies.
Spy.
That's why it allows
And
them to
then
make the star bridge,
Loki's
right?
Staff.
staff
Bridge.
was the mind.
mine.
Okay. Cool.
And then Soul is the one we haven't seen yet.
Soul's green.
Which
Yellow.
we didn't see in
Yellow.
Black Panther,
then-
and we didn't.
which is
bring that
weird.
up. Yeah.
There's a reference to Soul in Black Panther. They say that there's a lot of soul in Wakanda.
They're like,
whatever,
oh,
the
Korea,
vibranium.
there's soul.
So it's like they're setting it up, which you can kind of think about in Infinity War with what we've seen in the
I
trailers.
feel like
It's
they
gonna
would
be
have
there.
set it up more though.
Yeah, they should have.
Just been like, hey, look, we got one of these stones. You know?
I think they made the conscious decision to make Black Panther not
Yeah.
just to be a standalone, which I think is
Right.
wise overall, but it is
Absolutely.
weird. I think it caught up to them and were like, fuck, we can't explain
Well, the
this
fact
other
that it
stone.
didn't come up in our MCU in review, I think is interesting because like this is the first time I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I thought it was going to be in that movie, and then they didn't bring it up.
And then the Power Stone is in Guardians.
Yes, it's the
Is that
purple one.
correct?
Yeah, it's the
Yes.
purple.
That's the one that Novacore has.
Yeah.
Not for
Can't
long,
wait till we
you know
get to
what I mean?
Guardians. What is Guardians? I want to watch
Next.
that.
Two
again.
away.
Oh, two away.
Yeah,
Next is Winter
next is Winter
Soldier.
Soldier and then Guardians.
These are good. This is
Yeah,
a good
we're-
back-to-back
We've
double
made it
feature.
through
Yeah,
this
that was
shit.
it. That was the hard
Yeah,
stuff.
that was it. I think the last kind of divisive one's going to be Age of Ultron, and then we'll go from there.
But even then, I don't
even
think
that's
it's
not.
bad.
No, that one's that's at least good. It's just not great.
James Spader, sign me up.
Dude,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
After watching Mouth and
Robert
Skyrim
California,
helmet, yeah.
dude.
You want to ragu bagu it, gentlemen?
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ragu Bagu. Of course, follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/RaguBaguVids. If you want to go to patreon.com/kindafunny for $1,000, you can run the Ragu Bagu Vids Twitter account for a week.
That's a
Don't do
that's
it.
a deal
Ready,
right
Nick?
there.
Nick, ready? Da-dun-dun-da-dun-dun.
Ragu.
Da-dun-dun-da-dun-dun.
Bagu.
Nice.
This is the first episode ever that I've been personally insulted to even have to acknowledge these fuckers. So these fuckers are either number 9 on the list or we don't even rank them because they're so insulting.
I like that.
Andy, it's up to you.
He's no, he's 9. Yeah, you got to put him at the last. Yeah,
These fucks.
We have to acknowledge
these fucks
it.
is what they're being put down
So-
as.
Loki, not a bad guy in this movie.
No.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Just checking.
No, we're
He's a rad guy.
we're doing
Anti-hero.
Malik in
Yeah.
the Skyrim helmet, but we're putting him down as these fucks.
Can you spell it right? Malekith?
THESEFUCKS
He
parentheses
wrote these
Thor 2.
fucks.
Anytime
There you
I
go.
see his name, I think of that meme where it's like Mike Tyson making like 2 dolls kiss, but it says now Kith because he has a little bit of a lisp, you know? Malekith.
Embarrassing, an embarrassing outing for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That was the quickest Ragu Baggy video.
I mean, I'm
it
just,
is
what do you want me to do?
guys.
What do you want me to do?
Efficient,
You can't
yeah.
polish a turd, they always say. They also say Hawkeye's a moron.
The only other Easter egg.
am I? Let's go chop the wood.
Oh, shot it. Good job.
make all my own arrows from wood.
Good
He's
lord.
never done anything.
Yeah,
like
never
that.
that at all.
I'm on
The
the
only
train, man.
other Easter egg I have is that the rock monster guy in the beginning
Korg.
is the same, is a Cronin, which is the same species as Korg in Ragnarok.
This
Korg's
guy is
best.
quick.
real quick.
Real quick.
Hey, we're gonna take over the
ship. Wanna come?
This is good.
do a great
Can't
job.
wait. I can't wait for Ragnarok.
Can't wait.
All right, now it's time to rank these things. Joey, can you pull up the ranking, please? Currently, at number 1, we have Avengers. Number 2, Iron Man. Number 3, Black Panther. Number 4, Iron Man 2. Number 5, Captain America, the First Avenger. Number 6, Iron Man 3. Number 7, The Incredible Hulk. And number 8, Thor 1. Now's the question.
Slap a 9 on
Where
this
does
bitch.
Thor, the Dark World land?
Slap a 9
Do I even need
on
to?
this
Do I even need to
bitch.
try to make a case that it's
You
a
can
little
try
bit
to
better
make
than
it.
Thor?
Joey,
My thing is, I could have a case in my heart for this movie being anywhere between 9 and 7.
Okay.
And I say that because I do think this is a boring ass movie.
Yeah.
And I do think that there's a lot of issues, but it's highs. I agree with what you're saying about overall Thor 1 is like a better movie, but I still thought that was boring and I still thought it had a lot of issues. Things I like about the MCU, like Loki and his whole character development, I thought was great in this movie. Action scenes, I thought this was way better than Incredible Hulk or Thor. So with that type of stuff, I'm like, I could make an argument for that, but my vote would probably be 8. So above Thor 1.
I think Hulk and Thor are just better movies overall. I think. You know what I mean, sure, you want to talk about how I don't agree. I find nothing redeemable. I can't make a case for Dark World on any. Loki stuff's cool, sure, but I feel like.
The Loki stuff is better than anything in Thor 1. Period.
But
I mean, the
any part of
character
Thor.
development of
yeah.
Thor in Thor, like we
Sets us
care
all
about.
up.
Yeah, we care about Thor now because of Thor.
And I think
There's a lot
Loki's
of Thors.
motivations in Thor 1 were way better. I mean, he was like,
Oh, I disagree.
he was this scorned child who wants to
Then
reclaim the
Malekith?
throne.
No.
Okay.
No.
I think-
Malekith's last.
I think
Loki's better
he
in
was,
this,
He
but I
was
think
funner
it's-
in this, but his motivations and everything about
Loki
his
didn't become
character-
Loki until Avengers. to me.
Avengers, yeah.
Whereas like, and he was great in Thor, but like, dude, just great being like, fine, you're there, and like, I guess this is serviceable to the plot. He was amazing in Avengers, and then to see this, I feel like he continues on that way.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I remember looking very much forward to watching Thor because I like the dynamic between Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth.
You
and
love abs.
And I fucking love abs. If you guys want to follow me at
Babu.
rank those abs, Abu Babu, Abu Babu.
And rank those abs.
RankThoseAbs.com. No, I liked a lot of the elements of Thor, and I remember looking forward to watching it. And when I did, I was very bored with that movie. This one was the opposite. I'm like, oh, I'm dreading this. Maybe just by comparison, because I was dreading it. I remember walking into the theaters going, I never want to see that movie again. Maybe it's because of that feeling that I went into this like really on a low level. And I'm like, I'm enjoying this movie all the way through. I just think it has more to it. I think it has a lot more intricacies. I think the action sequences are done more, and we still get that back and forth between him and Portman. Unfortunately, we don't get the best line, which is like, it's a good look.
Yeah.
But we get close to it in a couple scenes.
They
and
were
that's
just a
okay
better
for me.
relationship in Thor 1 too.
Well, it was brand
I
new.
agree with that.
It's always better in the first couple days when it's brand new.
No, it's just that these characters, the writing didn't work. The characters didn't work with who they should be and who they were established in Thor 1.
I do think that this movie was a little bit more entertaining than Incredible Hulk, and that's
No,
all.
you're
That's all I'll give
crazy.
it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like I don't really have an argument to make. I feel like all three of those are fairly.
This movie deserves to be in the
replaceable.
fucking gutter. All right, That's
The villain in Incredible Hulk, the Abomination, also Ross. Like I think that was a way stronger villain than we have now with Malekith, and just being like, make it all dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bruce Banner just sucked, man. I thought
Andy, do you like
Not
anything?
suck.
Is there anything you
We're,
like?
Yes,
we're
I
literally
do.
talking about the bottom of this, though. I guess it's funny because
No,
it's
it's
like
true.
we're at this point we're arguing of what's more important, a better villain or better action scenes or better comedy or better just overall plot making sense. So it's like, yeah, I feel like these movies belong together. In the same way that talking about Black Panther, it's like, yeah, it definitely belongs in the
upper echelon.
with the friends that it has.
Have a marvelous day. Thor's number 9. Thor
we got to do the vote.
Yeah, we're gonna get outvoted on this one.
Yeah,
too.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
easily.
That's fine. Is it better than Thor? If you think so, raise your hand.
Well, there it is.
There you go.
There it is.
The new
For the audio listeners, that was me and Tim.
The
Raise our
new
hand.
ranking of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is as follows. Number 1, Avengers. Number 2, Iron Man. Number 3, Black Panther. Number 4, Iron Man 2. Number 5, Captain America, the First Avenger. Number 6, Iron Man 3. Number 7, The Incredible Hulk. Number 8, Thor. Number 9, Thor, The Dark World. Join us.
I already made the graphic.
That's right.
Join us next week for Captain America,
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Woo,
I'm very excited for this
Me
one.
too.
Absolutely.
George St. Pierre.
Let's go.
Wait, he's in it?
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the bad guy in the boat.
Hey, you know what, Nick? Have a marvelous day.
Thanks, Andy.
Okay.
I can assure you, it will be safe in my possession.
See that it is.
3 down, 17 to go. 18 if you include the soda cola flavor. Karina. Hey. She's busy.